Good afternoon, and welcome to Storytime. My name is Megan Ross, and I am the Director of Religious Education and Engagement here at West Shore Unitarian Universalist Church. And I'm so glad you've joined me today. We're going to do a little bit different kind of story today. Instead of doing a story with pieces and an underlay like we've been doing for the last many weeks, I'm going to tell you a story from a picture book. This is based on a true story, and this story was used in our Sunday service yesterday that was led by our high school youth. Our story today is called Wangari's Trees of Peace. And here is the cover of the picture book, and this is a true story from Africa. Wangari lives under an umbrella of green trees in the shadow of Mount Kenya in Africa. She watches the birds in the forest where she and her mother gather wood, and she helps harvest the sweet potatoes, sugarcane, and maize from the rich soil. Wangari shines in school, and when she grows tall like the trees, she wins a scholarship. 6 years later, when her studies are all over, she comes back to Kenya and sees a change. What has happened? Where are the trees? Wangari sees women bent from carrying firewood miles and miles from home. She sees barren land. And where are the birds? Thousands of trees have been cut to make room for buildings, but no one planted new trees. Will all of Kenya become a desert, she wondered. Tears fell down her face. Wangari thinks about the land. I can begin to replace some of the lost trees right here in my own yard, one tree at a time. Wangari planted 9 seedlings. Watching the seedlings take root gives Wangari the idea to plant more. She decides to start a farm for baby trees called a nursery. In an open space, she plants row after row of tiny trees. Next, Wangari convinces the village women that planting trees is a pretty good idea. She gives each a seedling. Our lives will be better when we have trees again, she says. You'll see, we are planting seeds of hope. The women spread out all over their village, planting trees in rows, like a green belt stretching over the land. The government men laugh. Women can't do this, they say. It takes trained foresters to plant trees. The women ignore them and keep on planting. Wangari pays the women a small amount for each seedling that is still alive after 3 months, their first earnings ever. Word travels like wind through leaves about the greening of Wangari's village. And soon women in other villages and towns and cities in Kenya are planting long rows of seedlings too. But the cutting, it continues. Wangari stands tall as an oak to protect the old trees. We need a park more than an office tower, she says. The government men disagree. Wangari blocks their way, so they hit her. They call her a troublemaker and they put her in jail. And she stands tall. Right is right, even if you are alone. But Wangari is not alone. Talk of the trees spreads over Africa like ripples in Lake Victoria. More women hear the talk and plant more seedlings in longer and longer rows. The seedlings take root and grow tall. until one day there are 30 million trees where there once were none. The umbrella of green returns to Kenya. The women walk tall, their backs straight, for now they can gather wood much closer to home. The land is no longer barren. Sweet potatoes, sugarcane, and maize grow again in the rich soil. The whole world hears of Wangari's trees and her army of women who planted them. And if you were to climb to the top of Mount Kenya today, you would see the millions of trees growing below you and the green Wangari brought back to Africa. And this is a picture of the real Wangari Maathai. She was a real person, and she started the Green Belt movement in the 1970s. And there are over 50 million trees now in Kenya because of her hard work. And she was the very first African woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize. I hope you enjoyed that story. It's one of my favorites. I love thinking about the things that one person can do with their passion and their caring to make a difference in our world. And I'd like to leave you with some wondering questions today. I wonder if you've ever heard of Wangari before, this amazing woman from Africa who won the Nobel Prize. I wonder if you know what a Nobel Prize is. I wonder what it felt like for Wangari to go to jail. I wonder if that was scary. And lastly, I wonder, what do you do to help take care of our planet? I hope you'll think about these wondering questions and maybe share them with a friend, a grown-up, or your favorite stuffy. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you again next week. Bye-bye.